So you're in sales and you're tired of being ignored and having your emails, your calls, and your LinkedIn messages get ignored. What is the solution, Rob?
Visual storytelling for sales, Ruben.
Is this like cinematography?
It's all the above. It's visual storytelling. Hey everybody, welcome into another episode of RevShow. I'm Rob.
And I'm Ruben.
And today we are excited to bring you the visual storytelling for sales. So important, Ruben. Why is video storytelling so important?
We speak to salespeople all the time, and the number one challenge that we hear is that they want to punch through the noise. They want to differentiate themselves to capture people's attention, to actually get their email responded to, and to be delighted and to have the prospect on the other side to hear from them. Now, we have what we believe is one of the most effective solutions, which is to use visual storytelling. And here's what we mean by that. You don't need to go to film school. You can use...
Wait a minute. You don't need to go to film school?
No film school
required.
Should I cancel
the USC...
cancel the UC...
USC alum over here.
That's right.
Maybe I should cancel.
Go Trojans.
Okay, got it. So not UCLA.
Why? Because now, with simple technology, you can actually record multiple clips, add dynamics, and convey a visual story. Rob, why do we want to convey a visual story?
Well, because people connect to stories, whether it's personal or a story that they've heard about through the news or anywhere else, something where you can really band together and say, you know what, I can relate to that. But it's not just about a story. It's about a visually compelling story. So the one thing that we like to say is create an experience, not an exercise. So when you actually create a video and you send it in a creative manner, which we'll talk about, that is being absolutely connective. If you're not doing that, all you're doing is a sales exercise, and that's been seen 1,000 times before.
Yes, and guess what? Visual storytelling will awake their senses. Things in their mind will trigger things like curiosity, things like compassion, things like empathy. They will be magnetized to see that animated GIF in their email, to be compelled and inspired to click on it and to watch the video, and then most importantly, to connect with you.
Show, don't tell. All right, I know that looks like a big mess right there, but there's actually some madness in the little method down there. Now, before you can get into the actual creating of these creative videos, you've got to think about, how do we start? Well, we start with research. What are the ways we research and we reach out to prospects? Well, it's broken down very simply right here. 101. That's when you go to someone's LinkedIn profile. It could be a Facebook page. It could be a Twitter account, some online social profile where you see the prospect and you do a screen recording video of the prospect's background behind you. That's one visual way to show that proof of life, right? Or a proof of prospect, they exist. That would be an example of a 101 outreach in terms of visual. Now, the reason we call the social media profile outreach a 101 version is because it's really just the base level of, hey, they're alive, they exist. Wow, that's pretty cool. There's their profile. That only goes so far though. That's why we've laid these out into layers or levels. So the next one is going to be 201 as opposed to 101. And 201 has to do with acknowledging their skills, their interests, and their passion. An example of this would be, okay, I'm a cartoonist myself, right? I do cartoons. If someone made a video reaching out to me and they showed one of my cartoons in their little video and said, hey Rob, I love that cartoon that you did about cats. I love cats. And then you transition into the real reason you reached out to me for your sales. Well, that's a nice segue. That's not just saying I exist. That's saying, Rob, I really appreciate your talent and I actually relate to that because I have cats and you did a cartoon about cats. Pretty cool. That is more meaningful. That's next level. That's not 101, that's 201. And as another example, if you see someone's profile with a sports team that they like. For instance, the Boston Celtics, right? If they say, hey Rob, you're a Boston Celtics guy. I saw your team. You know what? They had a rough go last week in the playoffs, but I'm here for you, buddy. Love the green. I bleed green. Anything like that is really meaningful because the reason people put those kinds of things on their profiles is because it means something to them. If they're posting about sports or life or whatever interest they have, it's because they have an interest. So if their interest relates at all to your interest, well, that's gold right there. You're not just commenting on something that you don't have a relation with. You're saying, hey, you know what? I see that and I can relate to that. And that's important. That's next level. I know, but wait, but there's more? There is more. There is another level. There's a third level to this, and that's 301. Now, 301 is all about the give, not the get. What's the difference between the two? Well, the give would be, as in the examples that I've talked about, whether it's a cartoon or it's a sports team, maybe what I'm selling is not even related to those topics, right? But what if I have a piece of educational material that I found online that I think you would love as a sports fan? Rob, you're a Celtics fan. I saw this article about how they're going to draft this certain player here. I don't know if you've seen it yet. Check it out. This is fantastic. It's totally related to your interest. Now that's a give. I'm not expecting anything in return. I'm just saying, you know what? I recognize that and I'm going to give it out to you. The wrong move would be the get, where I'm going to send you something. Hey, Rob, you know what? I just sent you a couple free lattes over at the Boston Garden over there next time you go to the Celtic game. The fact that you sent me 2 free lattes, I immediately feel almost indebted to the fact that maybe I should invite you to the game or meet you before the game or after the game to talk about whatever you want to sell me. That's not the idea. It's the give, it's not the get, and that's 301. Another example is if you send a PDF of a sales deck. Yes, I said sales deck. And if you just send that to someone, well, what are you doing? You're not even asking for permission. You're just literally sending it to that person, expecting them to respond and book a time with you. That's just not the way to go. The real revenue is in the research. Show, don't tell.
And 401 is automation. That's the final frontier of sales. Now, I know what you're thinking. Automation is not exactly the most research-driven or personalized sales effort, and you're probably right about that. But the point is that not everyone is going to get back to you at the time where you send them a message. Some people need a little bit more time. They might be going through something, they might be really busy, and they might actually need some time to be able to consume your message and eventually get back to you. Because yes, it does take multiple touch points. So therefore, why not enter them into an automated workflow, a smart sequence? Send them email drip messages of content that they'd want to hear, like case studies, like testimonials, like educational videos where you can help them solve their problems. And eventually, you might end up going with them to a Celtics game. Good luck.
Ruben, is there a 501?
401 took years to come up with. Now you want 501?
Give the people what they want.
501 is to make this whole process scalable and repeatable.
You know what you are, Ruben? Scalable and predictable. So whenever you're getting ready to create a visual storytelling video, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do a storyboard. Now, I know a storyboard may sound intimidating, but all it really is just putting your thoughts down and just jotting down a little sketch or a little block, each block of each story within the story. In other words, each scene. So as an example, really simply as an example, if I'm a car salesman and I'm reaching out to a prospect, well, maybe the first shot of my video is going to be me showing the keys, or maybe a handshake, or maybe myself sitting in the car showing some kind of feature in the car. Something where when they first see that animated GIF, those 3 seconds, it's that beautiful image maybe of me sitting in the car, showing a feature, and then the actual video itself, the prospecting video, opens up with these clips of car keys, handshake, someone in the car. That's a beautiful way to start the video, and then it transitions to me saying, hey Ruben, this is Rob. I'm over here at the Audi dealership, and I just want to make you aware of the deals that we have going on right now. The features in this car are amazing. I think one of the features you're really going to enjoy is blah, 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 blah. Keep it under 30 seconds. But the whole idea with visual storytelling is to show them, right? That's one of the biggest expressions, show them. So within the first clip, they're going to see handshake, car keys, someone in the car being happy. So the total prospecting video will be under 30 seconds, but you've got to have that really, really engaging visual start to your video. And the number one way to do that, to start, is to have a storyboard. All right, we just did storyboarding, but now we're going to talk about recording in clips. It's one of the easiest ways you can do this. Ruben, what's one of the best things to use to record in clips?
Hopefully by now you understand the visual story that we're trying to convey to you, which is that creating visual stories will help you sell. And we've experienced this countless numbers of times with thousands of sales teams all over the country. And the greatest thing about it is that it's really easy to do. Recording multiple clips builds a story. It builds a visual story. It's like a movie that you create that makes people feel something. And when they feel something, they're open to potentially working with you. And our suggestion here, if you practice it and if you actually utilize it, it's going to help you to do the thing that we promised in the beginning of this video, which is to get more replies, to get more bookings, and ultimately to get more conversions. The Dubb team has put in so much time and effort to build the Dubb app to be what it is, to allow people to record multiple clips, to add music, to add voiceover, to add text overlays so that you can tell visually stories to capture people's attention.
So now that you know about the storyboard, you want to shoot in clips. That's your next big thing, because shooting in clips or scenes is like bringing a storyboard to life. Each frame is part of the storyboard. When we use the Dubb mobile app, we sit here, we hit record. Hey, this is Rob from Dubb. I just want to make you this quick video because I think you're going to find this really interesting. Stop. start a new clip. One of the big points I want to make is our product really aligns with what you're doing there. I think there's a lot of synergy. In fact, I want to show you something else. Stop. And then you can do another angle. So Ruben, basically, we can shoot in clips. So once you have all your clips shot and you've been very intentional with your shots, right? Whatever your subject matter is, focus on that in each one of your clips. Then with the Dubb mobile app, you can move the clips around. If you storyboarded properly, you don't need to move them around because they're in the correct order. The whole idea here is to create a little mini movie that you've created in the simplest format with the number one objective to connect with that prospect. So whatever app you're using, we recommend Dubb. Whatever app you're using, use the clips. Shooting in clips is monumentally important to creating this visual storytelling that we're talking about.
So here is the key. Capture, convey, provide a call to action, connect, converse, and then convert. Stage 1 is to capture. This means recording your clips. Stage 2 is to convey your message. It's to communicate the fact that you've done research on that person and you have something interesting to say and a solution. The next is to provide a call to action. Without a call to action, people don't know what to do. This could be to click on the button below to book a time in your calendar or to click a link to visit your website to learn more. And the next is to do what you already know how to do, which is to make a connection, to meet with them one-on-one, invite them to a webinar, get them to fill out a form, make that connection. And once that connection happens, that's where you can converse. Now you can build a relationship. And then from there, of course, you can make a conversion. When you tell a story visually, give people a branded experience. Don't expose your sales exercise.
Show, don't tell.
The process of researching your prospects and then creating visual stories for them, it does take time. But you can expect to see a very high conversion rate because people will actually feel something. They will realize that you put in the time and that you're actually an interesting person to connect with. If you do want to broadcast messages in the form of email campaigns or even SMS campaigns, refer back to what Rob was talking about, which is to create a story arc, a before and an after. What is the desired outcome and the solution that you're providing that's going to change that state of being from before to after?
We hope you enjoyed this episode, everybody. Visual storytelling in sales is monumentally important. Tell everyone you know, get out there, get a camera, say something important, be intentional, be connective, and we feel video is the way to do that. So when you have a moment, start leaning into video. In the meantime, if you liked this video, like it, throw a comment below, throw a Dubb video below. We love that. And please consider subscribing to the channel. We'd love to have you.
And remember, make it visual and make it with video because it makes a connection.
See you next episode.
It threw us off. I think it threw us off.
But that's where the magic of editing will come in.
Tower guy. Real connection in nature.